Yeah, well, Robbie made a good point too about acts, and people they want to go straight to the source of the answer. I mean, we've all, I'm sure, dealt with that, especially with music supervisors, because you clear a song, you got to go to the publisher, you got to go to the record label. A lot of times, if they're going to the manager, inclusive of that conversation, stuff's getting answered much quicker because.
Does everybody know what a music supervisor is?
It's someone who helps place music in TV shows or films or commercials or video games.
It's an extremely growing part of.
Yeah. Right. Because when you license a song, it's the owned copyright, so you have to license the master and the publishing. You have to go get clearance from the publisher owner and the master owner, and then master owner, 99% of the time is the record label, unless you put out the record yourself, which in a sense you're a record label. So that has to still go back to the artist, and the artist has to approve that usage. So if the artist isn't inserted in that conversation, and the money isn't right, what the label or publisher thinks, a lot of times they're losing out on revenue because the label didn't even get it to them because they thought the money was too low. And then what happens is the music supervisor moves on to the next song because there's just a huge level of competition, especially in that world. So if you're involved in that process, like I am, and I'm sure all you guys have been, it's invaluable because you already know what's going on, and you can run interference and tell the label and the publisher, sorry, we're overriding you. You got to clear this, and they do.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, just because I think that it's probably something that aspiring managers and artists may not know a lot about, is that there's a thirst for music from all of these people, TV, film, games, advertising, local TV stations. They want music, and they want it cheap. And they want to be able to license it quickly. One of the benefits I'm sure a lot of you have is you may not have publishing deals, you may not have record deals, but you have music that appeals to these music supervisors, and they want to license it. There are a lot of different opportunities to get your band represented by a boutique company or a sort of more self-service company, so that people in that community can be exposed to your music. It's not just about sending it to the club booker or the radio station or the magazine. The music supervisors and that community, they wield tremendous influence. They break bands, they get you paid, and there's a thirst. There's nonstop need for music, from reality shows to network shows to cable shows to advertising to video games. So it's something that, when talking about the decline of record sales revenue, if you're looking for something to sink your energy into, learn more about that area. There are also conferences, there are books. You can find interviews with all these people online. All the information is out there for you to learn about that and to help your client, or as an artist, to help yourself, get into those opportunities. Well, Larry, to ask something, you said you started a pitching company or a supervision company?
Well, we have somebody that pitches not only our management clients, but everybody that we are starting to sign to the label side, as we're a digital singles label. So we have it in-house, but then we also do our own pitching as well. We just play some music in Stars Media on their channel. A bunch of unsigned bands owned all their stuff, and they get all the money.
Yeah, I just did that with, because I also do some independent pitching, and one of the bands I manage, it just signed a Chop Shop, which is actually Alex Putzoffice's label through Atlantic. She's a music supervisor. She does Grey's Anatomy and used to do the OC and Gossip Girl and stuff. And one of the reasons why the deal happened is because I got one of their songs on CSI New York, and she saw that. I played her the record, and that's really what happened, basically. So the fact that you're in the mix with these people, and like Wayne's saying, they're hungry for music. I mean, basically, that band it was a demo. The record wasn't mastered or anything. It sounded really good for a demo, and it got in one of the most popular dramas on CBS in a key moment.
The interconnectedness of it is Alex Putzoffice is a supervisor. She owns a label, and I guarantee you she'll be managing bands in a minute. Gary Calamar is a DJ on KSRW, and he does music supervision for House, and he did 6 Feet Under.
True Blood. Yeah, True Blood.
True Blood. I mean, everybody's doing multiple jobs, so you get in with one person, and that person has tentacles that spread to so many different areas.
MTV also has a section called Soundtracks on MTV.com, and we know MTV doesn't play videos anymore, but they do. If you get a placement on MTV, you'll notice in the Hills or whatever it is, you get a Chiron and a Buy Link, And that is invaluable. And so there's a section, if you go to it, make an artist profile, and they watch and they look and see, and it's all there. Who's getting requests? You know, you have all these fans saying, I want this song up on, The Real World or this or that, and they watch. And there's a lot of bands that have gotten placements from that, and it can change everything. So that's free and easy to do.
And it's really easy to mobilize too, which I'm sure you guys do a lot of like when you get that placement, it's coming, to mobilize internet community. I mean, I placed a song for the Dandy Warhols and Gossip Girl, and it wasn't even a single, and that track went from like 30 sales to 650 in 1 week because of that one usage.
Yeah, they've really become
that's pretty significant.
Sorry to cut you up. These music supervisors really are the new power brokers, at least for now. Like a great case study is Ingrid Michaelson. I don't know if you know that singer-songwriter. She was like the closing credits on Grey's Anatomy. Would she sell like 600,000? Yeah, but that's how she got that. Is Lynn Grossman, a big music supervisor, became her manager, and wow, she sits on top of all these shows that she can put anyone she wants in. Here's Ingrid again. Here's Ingrid again. They have a great business together. No label. They do it. They get a distribution deal because they're selling like hotcakes. They don't need anybody.
I think, again, it's a lot of what we're saying. I don't want to get too deep into music supervision because we have a few more things to cover, but overriding theme here is that, whoever, if you're representing somebody or if you're asking somebody to represent you, they have to keep kind of everything honest. And again, they have to be able to get their hands dirty. They should know what music, if they don't know what music supervision is, they should learn, right?
Exactly.
It shouldn't be like, oh, okay, well, I'll get to it. Again, and there's so many. The one thing about the business that's really interesting is that the business in some ways is getting smaller, right, in a traditional sense, and everyone is so much busier, right? Like, I mean, not just like us and what we're doing, but I think people who, you talk to a music supervisor who's trying to place all these different shows and trying to find music. You talk to somebody, over at EA, video games, right, and they're like placing for, Madden, right, the new Madden game. You talk to somebody in radio or you talk to somebody in retail. Everyone's got a limited time for shit, right? So they really, but then they want you to get to the point and get to it quickly, more so than ever. There's very little time for chit chat these days. So again, the person who's representing you should just be able to get in and out and keep, because the great fallacy right now is management companies, God, there must be like 50 people there. We have a pretty big management company. There's 15 people, right?
There's 50 jobs in one guy.
Yeah, seriously. I'm the one person in our office that handles radio, marketing, retail, branding. We have one day-to-day for like 3 or 4 bands each. We have 2 people that handle touring for all of our acts. We have one guy that develops websites, right, which we're going to get into in a second. So, you have to be able to just know where to go and do it effectively, and be versatile enough to understand all aspects of the business. So if your record, like, hey, I got to go and call like 2 or 3 record stores, or we got to book a tour, right? Like, what agent am I going to get, or am I going to, how am I going to get this band on the road? Can they book it themselves because they can't get an agent,